In a guest essay published in The Economist magazine, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz discussed the war in Ukraine, European security, and Germany's commitment to a more secure Europe. He expressed his opinion on Russian President Vladimir Putin and his vision for a new version of an imperialist-style Russia. Scholz argued that Germany and its Western allies had adhered to certain rules and were able to avoid a war in Europe from the end of World War II until the Russian invasion of Ukraine. However, he did not accept responsibility for Germany's role in creating the current situation or the challenges required to correct it. Scholz argued that Putin's imperialist desires, manifested in his invasion of Ukraine, violated these rules. He did not ignore the Yugoslav wars, the Chechen Civil War, the Russo-Georgian War in 2008, and the Ukraine invasion of 2014. Although 3 of the 4 involved Russia, Russia's imperialist goals are valid points for supporting the Chancellor, but the Yugoslav wars did not involve Russia, negating his points. However, examining the Franco-Prussian War, World War I and World War II generally confirms his correctness. The Ukraine war can be argued to not be any different from the examples of post-World War II wars in Europe, apart from length, scale, and Western reaction. The difference in the current Ukraine war lies in the response from the West, which experienced a mini Neville Chamberlain moment of September 1, 1939, when it became clear that appeasement only made the aggressor bolder. Despite Russia's aggressive acts in the 2000s, no serious challenge emerged against it. Germany's post-Cold War ostrich-like behavior and over-reliance on soft power led to Russia's boldness in the Ukraine war. After the Cold War, Germany faced the cost of merging with the erstwhile German Democratic Republic, East Germany, and swiftly lowered its defense budget due to the absence of the Soviet military threat. This led to a reduction in the Bundeswehr's size and starvation of equipment and spare parts, causing its combat readiness to fall well short of what a military of its size, or a country like Germany, should have. Chancellor Scholz boasted about permanently deploying 1 full brigade to Lithuania for its defense against a potential Russian threat to the Baltics, but did not provide any significant contribution to European or NATO deterrence against recognized Russian threats. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2014, Germany and its NATO partners agreed that all member countries should contribute 2% or more of their GDP to defense spending. However, Germany never increased defense spending to the agreed target, and Russia's deterrence or NATO agreements were not enough to push Germany to improve its readiness. Chancellor Scholz should be credited with trying to improve Germany's position within NATO and Europe, but it took another invasion of Ukraine to do that. Germany has committed to the 2% GDP goal and created a special fund of 100 billion euros to jumpstart procurement to improve the readiness and effectiveness of the Bundeswehr. The Federal Minister of Defense of Germany, Boris Pistorius, has stated that Germany has reached the 2% target and foresees the need for GDP spending to increase as high as 3.5% before the end of the 2020s. Despite these efforts, numerous obstacles stand in the way of improving the long-neglected German armed forces. The 100 billion in special funds has been criticized as being too slow to be used to help improve the situation. Germany initially opted out of the F-35 Lighting II program, but has now used 30 billion euros of the fund to purchase 35 new stealth aircraft, as well as all the support structures needed for the aircraft and some US-made heavy lift helicopters. The remaining funds have been spent more slowly in response to critics, focusing more on domestic defense needs. The fund is also experiencing erosion due to annual inflation and the value-added tax, VAT, which is currently 19%. Well over 2/3 of the fund in real terms have already been spent or earmarked. However, it will take time for the situation for the Bundeswehr to improve, as stated by Chancellor Scholz. Germany has donated over 30 billion euros of defense equipment to Ukraine to help it fight the Russian invasion, representing about 18% of the German defense budget since the start of the Ukraine war. While arming Ukraine contributes to European defense, it also hinders the Bundeswehr's ability to enhance its combat readiness by transferring equipment from Bundeswehr stocks to the east. Chancellor Scholz did not address how Germany not only did not provide a credible deterrent by allowing the Bundeswehr to fall into a state of disrepair, but also enabled Russia to pursue its imperialist goals. He was not the elected leader of Germany when many of these pre-Ukraine war decisions were made, but his lack of introspection about how Germany got itself into this position is concerning.